Hey, let's talk about how do you handle people who is jealous, right? This is one of those very sensitive topic that most people want to find out. And most of you will go through life and all of a sudden you realize the person that you knew for a long time start to be jealous of you. Maybe the people that you work together and you guys got along extremely well for a while, and all of a sudden you realize this person's talking behind your back, and you figured out, wow, this person is jealous of your promotion. Or maybe you grew up with your sibling and both of you were just at the same level, and all of a sudden you graduated and got a higher education degree, and your own sibling might be even jealous of your success. You know, even though it's very difficult, it's kind of complicated to figure out what is the true reason why certain people are jealous of someone. But one thing I can assure you is this: when someone who is jealous of another person, it is usually because the other person has more than they do, achieve higher than they do, look better than they do, accumulate more than they do. So understand, jealousy only happens when there is a gap. Your friend that you grew up with make $50,000, you make $50,000, all of a sudden he got a promotion, he recreated himself, he worked harder, he chose another career, he read more books, and ultimately he get to a level where, let's just say he's making 100 grand. Now there's a gap. 50 and 100 grand is a gap right there now. That's where the jealousy comes from, right? Or maybe you work out over the summer, you eat right, you lift weights, and you grew up with another buddy of yours, and both of you kind of like out of shape, right? And all of a sudden you show up without a shirt on and you got this six pack, and your friend be looking at you and say, how the hell you got this six pack and I still have this love handle right here? That's where jealousy starts, right? There's a gap, right? Or maybe both of you are single, right? And all of a sudden, you got a hot looking girlfriend, right? Guess what happened? Your buddy would say, hey man, I've been single for a long time. Well, how the heck did you how did you get the hot girl? How did you date the hot girl? Jealousy can happen when there's a gap. You hustle your face off. You work dark to dark. You work 15 hours a day. Your friends, deciding to, continue to watch Netflix and catch up to the Squid Game and, Game of Thrones, those type of exciting show. And all of a sudden, you became an entrepreneur. You're making high six figures, and your friends still broke like hell. But he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to read more books. He doesn't want to go out there and learn another skill set to increase income. And guess what happened? That's where jealousy starts. So remember, jealousy happens when there is a gap. That's why people, at least some people, are jealous of someone who achieved more than they do. You follow what I'm saying so far? So that's the why. But today's video, I want to talk about how do you handle people who's jealous of you. I don't know about other people, what they tell you, how to handle them. Some people say, well, just ignore them. Some people will say, well, you got to just focus on what you got to do. Some people will say, you know what, always focus on your own thing, your purpose and whatever, right? And everybody has their own little shebang, their little own story, version of the story on how to handle people who's jealous of them. For me, it's very simple. Somebody who's jealous of me, which happened a lot, because I used to be a broke little kid. I graduated from college with a 2.8 GPA. My first job was in Burger King. I can tell you, if you talk to any of my high school friends, college buddies, even closest friends 20 years ago, no one, I'm talking about no one, will ever tell you that JW will become successful, will become wealthy, Ain't gonna happen because most of them thought I was a average dude. So we get along very well. But here's what I'm gonna tell you right now. Through my life and career, I have friends that I used to grow up with became jealous of me. I had people who started the business in sales with me. We used to hang out all the time. Eventually, they were jealous of me. I have people who built a company with me at the beginning. Eventually, when I elevated, we created myself, they were jealous of me. Here's how I handle every single one of them. When I elevated here, they were jealous of me. Why? Because the gap was still very close. Let me give you an example. Let's say one of my guy who makes $100,000 a year in sales, and I'm making $100,000 in sales. We're even. And then I work more, I hustle more, and all of a sudden I make $300,000. That's where the jealousy comes in, right? Remember I said that? There's a gap right there, but the gap is not big enough. It's still very close. That's the time they become extremely jealous. The only way you can handle and get rid of this jealous people is to keep climbing above the cloud. You gotta achieve massive success. Meaning, a person who makes $100,000, they are not going to be jealous of somebody who make $1 million because the gap becomes what? Too big now, right? A person who make $100,000 is not going to be jealous of somebody who make $10 million a year because that is super massive gap now. I don't know if you understand what I just said. If you want to get rid of someone who is jealous of you, just keep growing. Just keep flying high. Just create a massive gap that one day they look at you, they be like, holy cow, he's above the cloud. I'm too far away. Let me not mess with him anymore. You know, it's too far for me to compare to that person. You know what? Let me be jealous of somebody else that's close to my level. You got what I mean? That's how you handle jealous of people, is to create massive gap. Don't look back. Keep going forward. Keep flying high, right? Along the way, make sure you also help a lot of people to get to your level. Imagine you are successful and you got 30 guys around you that's successful. Guess what happened now? Those 30 guys that you help will speak for you now. They will become your loyal fans. They will defend you. They will making sure that if anybody says shit about you, they're going to protect you. So not only you going to create massive success gap, but you also make sure you pull some good people along with you and helping them to achieve their success. And if you do that, guess what? The people who used to be jealous of you, they won't be jealous of you anymore. Why? Because it's just too far. But you will create new enemies. You will also create new jealous people at that level, at this level. Now what do? Same formula. Create another massive gap. Got it? Kind of a deep message today, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, post a comment below. Let me know what you think of today's message. All right, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so. JW here. See you next time. Take care. JW here. If you like my content, comment below and download my JW Just Win app. See you next time.